Welcome back to another episode of the Craftavore Tastes. I'm your host, Max. And today we're diving into an accessible beer, pretty much a shelf beer. Obviously available all across the country. This is actually Stone's newest release called Inevitable Adventure Double IPA. It is brewed with Loral and Dr. Rudy hops. Not too familiar with those two hop varieties, but as I mentioned, on this channel, we're going to obviously review beers that are super accessible for folks out there. So I think most people across the country have access to Stone. So, if you have a pretty decent bottle shop or, a relatively decent place where you buy beer, more than likely they'll probably have Stone. And so this actual bottle was released or actually bottled on January 11th, 2018. So we're just a little over a month old. I have to admit, I used to kind of be super into Stone beers a number of years ago. And then my interest level in them and just my purchasing of them has kind of, reduced over time. Last couple of beers that I was really interested into was their Enjoy By series. And then even over time, I kind of just, stopped buying them. But they really do great beers. I mean, obviously, they're at this point, a veteran in the craft beer industry. So I picked this up at my local bottle shop and wanted to give it a go. So let's go ahead, get this one into a glass. We'll, of course, get the appearance, the aroma, taste, then rate it. All right, so let's pop a top on this guy. Off to a side. Put it right into a glass. And let's go ahead and look at the aroma. So, put it up to the glass, to the camera right here. Beer is coming in super crystal clear. Kind of like a light kind of amberish color, right? Like it's not exactly a little bit more of a kind of like deeper gold, but has a little bit of kind of amber hues to it, but a little bit more on the lighter side. Looks absolutely super clean, crystal clear, beautiful. Got just about a half finger of head here. Again, not every beer needs to be hazy, guys. At the end of the day, gorgeous looking beer in a glass. Let's go ahead and get our nose in it and get an aroma. It smells really, really nice. Very clean kind of smelling. Getting a tremendous amount of kind of candied citrus fruits. It's a double IPA, obviously, so I'm getting a little bit of that sweetness from the malts mixed in with a little bit of citrus flavors, but they're just kind of, yeah, definitely more candied kind of citrus, right? Like, there's a sweetness that's coming off of this beer, but it smells really, really fresh. It smells very, very inviting. And frankly, obviously, I've spent a lot of time over the course of the last couple of years, and especially the last year or so, just drinking the hell out of New England style IPAs. So this kind of taste is, it sounds embarrassing, but is kind of almost kind of refreshing and kind of not new, obviously, but like it's kind of bringing back kind of like some old favorites, right? Which is kind of cool. Yeah, big kind of citrus notes, candied kind of citrus notes, even a little bit of like kind of like marmalade going on there as well. Smells really good, man. At the end of the day, let's go ahead and give her a taste. Cheers. Yum. All right, really, really nice. Right at the front of the tongue, first taste, again, getting a lot of kind of like sweet kind of candied fruits. A little bit of, like I said, a little bit of orange kind of like marmalade going on there. It's followed in with a nice little kind of, kind of pronounced bitterness that's hanging a little bit there on the palate. You're getting a bit of sweet malts as well, right? So a little bit more of kind of a malty backbone that's going along with this. But it complements a lot of that candied kind of citrus notes like really, really well. This is really, really tasty. I'm going to dive back in one more time. Really, really good. Again, that mixture of those malts and those sweet malts mixed in with those candied fruit flavors, candied citrus flavors. Almost kind of like, those candies where it was like an orange or like just like a citrus fruit that was kind of like covered in like sugar. It has a little bit of that kind of taste, which is kind of interesting. But when you mix that together with the sweet malts, it balances out the beer really, really well. The beer's coming in at about 8.9% ABV, so it's a little bit on the bigger side, obviously, for a double IPA, and it feels that, like it does. You know you're drinking a bigger beer. But it's extremely well balanced in that way that I think it kind of, when you kind of put it together, kind of creates a really, really nice package. And something that obviously at the end of the day, if you live on the Northeast, is a little bit different than what you've been drinking lately and what has kind of become super hyped and kind of a bit more of the predominant style. But this is a really, really good example of an awesome release from Stone that maybe at this point in time may not be considered trendy. But you should go and check this beer out and check these kind of beers out again. You would be surprised to remember just how excellent and how awesome those West Coast style IPAs are when they're done extremely, extremely well. I'm sure the remainder of the country obviously is drinking a lot more of them. Again, I certainly don't mean to kind of present a little bit more of a Northeast bias. It's just that styles in this area obviously are that New England style and are a bit more dominated. So, as a result, haven't been able to kind of jump in some of a little bit more of these kind of, embarrassing to say, classical styles. But man, this is really, really awesome. Love it. Really, really good. So let's go ahead and give her a rating. Straight up out of the gate, no joke, 4.25 caps. Has to be. That is a really, really well executed beer. I dig it a lot. I think the balance is right there. I think it's drinkable for 8.9% ABV. Like I said, it is a bigger beer. You do feel it. But at the same time, the balance is the beer is so balanced that it does drink really, really, really well. So awesome new release from Stone. Like I said, it is Inevitable Adventure Double IPA. Go pick this up if you see it at your local body shop, all right? Body shop. Your local bottle shop. All right, so 4.25 caps from the Craftavore Tastes. I hope you join me for another episode where I drink, I rate, I review, and then I repeat. Cheers, guys.